Hi everyone, I'm Emily Teague. I'm a portrait and fashion photographer based out of Brooklyn, New York. In today's video, I'm going to be keeping things introductory while going over some studio gear basics with you all. We're going to be talking about Apple boxes, C-stands, gaff tape, A-clamps, flags, and Sinfoil, and I'll be letting you know how they can all be used on set. Let's jump right in with Apple boxes. This is an Apple box. This one is from the brand Kupo. Matthews is another really popular choice for these. They are super useful pieces of wood that look a bit like crates. They're used on a lot of film and photo sets, and they have so many uses. They can support equipment or hold things up. They can be used as a little step ladder. You might have whoever is in front of your camera stand or sit on one of these if you need them to have some extra height. Or maybe you want to give a prop or piece of equipment some extra height. You as a photographer can sit on one, or anyone that's in your crew, and there's tons of other little things these guys can be used for. They're super handy to have around. We also have different sizes of Apple boxes. So this is a nested kit, which means we've got our largest, a full Apple box. We have a half Apple box, half the size of the full, a quarter Apple, and this is a pancake. It's just 1 inch in height. Our half, quarter, and pancake can all fit inside our full Apple box. Next up, we've got our C-stands. This is a 40-inch C-stand with an arm from Kupo. You can find these guys in 20, 30, 40, and 60 inches, but 40 is your standard. C-stands are primarily used to hold and position your light, but they can be used for a few other things, like to hold up backdrops, hold flags or scrims, or sometimes when my stylist doesn't have a clothing rack, I'll give her a makeshift C-stand clothing rack to hold hangers on. They have all sorts of uses. So we have 3 legs with different heights here. Wherever the weight of your light, flag, etc. is leaning, you'll want the biggest leg to be right underneath it. And we can weigh this down with a sandbag, which is literally just a bag filled with sand to weigh stuff down. And this way, we don't need to worry about the light tipping over. And on the note of making sure nothing is tipping over, let's talk about our grip arm. This is another benefit to using a C-stand versus your basic photo kit stand. So we can now position your light wherever you want it versus having it stuck on that pin. So when we're adjusting this, we want to make sure the weight is extended to the right of the handle. This way the knuckle will tighten with the weight versus if the weight is to the left of the handle, then the weight is going to be pulling and it will actually loosen. We also have this knuckle to hold things like flags or scrims. Last thing about C-stands is, thanks to their legs, they can all be stacked together like this. Line up your big legs together and just keep adding. Okay, next up, let's talk about gaff tape. This is a tape made of heavy cotton cloth. Its adhesive back is designed so that when it's removed, it's not going to damage or leave behind any residue on whatever you're taping. And unlike with duct tape, it can withstand really high temperatures without melting. So what is it actually used for? Pretty much everything. You can use it to tape down wires on set so that you don't have to worry about people tripping over them. It can hold small things in place. You can mark your cards or your gear with them. You can mark specific spots where you want your lights or your model to stand, and a million other things you don't necessarily think about until you need it. Okay, let's talk about A-clamps. These are little clamps with rubber on both ends, and they can hold a variety of things. They can hold backdrops in place, gels, mount reflectors, hold small props, and like everything else, a variety of other uses too. They usually cost about $3 to $4, so relatively cheap. Next up, flags. These are used to block light and can be held with the knuckle of our C-stand arm. We can use these if we want to stop light from spilling onto our model, if we want to create a shadow, and we can use them for negative fill just like we would with a black V-flat, so it's absorbing that light. Last thing I'll go over for today's Studio Gear Basics video is Sinfoil, which is similar to flags. We can use it to block and manipulate our light. It's this heavy, non-reflective black aluminum foil that can be bent or cut, and we can use it to modify or shape the light coming from our strobes or constant light. We can also use it to mask light leaks or eliminate any unwanted reflections too. And that is it for now. These are just a few pieces of gear to know about when you're working on set. There's a ton more to go over too. Let me know what you think of this video. I will be reading the comments, and I'll see you all next time.